A little bit.
Good Midwestern audience, man. God.
Occupational.
Really? A heartland. Go on, just do it.
Fine.
All right. Really? It's not around your neck to do.
There you go.
somebody delivered this for you. There was a needle sticking out of its eye. They said that you'd know who they were and asked me to give this to you.
Have you gone?
Yes. It's weird. I just turned around and they were gone, as if the door never even opened. Mick, something wrong? What's the matter?
We went through a really bad experience with, let's put it, our now ex-manager, and it all got really, really strange, and there was a whole big mess up. The band was sort of off the road, and there was a fake band came out. So anyhow, after all that happened, you remember that, Mum, didn't you?
Yes, I did indeed. Yeah.
We never had another manager.
Very good,
And
good thing too.
Here it sits.
This is manager.
No, I reckon it will show Mum the
What's that?
cosy cottage.
I think so too.
Don't you?
Yes, he'll do some.
John is somewhat involved in the management thing, and that was the initial idea, but quite honestly, I think John is more at ease, just not having any of those pressures.
Yes. This was a lovely surprise.
Welcome to Cozy Cottage. Go away. Come here. Which is it? Go away or come here?
Come here. Come here.
I can go in.
No, you can't. Yes, you can.
Well, I am.
Watch it. Take care of him.
Yeah, take care of me.
Occasionally he gets involved in a big meeting and says, I don't think we should do that. And that's fine. Often actually John is intuitively really quite right. But basically I'm left to do all the worrying. To a lot of other people, the pressure of making money is, you know, I'm aware of making money, but I can really say that I don't. I think everyone in the band feels exactly the same. That is not the reason we're doing this.
Sounds good. I like that track. John, we weren't burned out. Now? Yeah, let's do it.
Hey Mick, how do you feel like playing drums?
Let's do that.
Okay.
Who's coming in?
At the end of the day, no matter how tiring that travelling's been, which I enjoy, I love travelling, you get on the stage and I kick the shit out of my drums. And quite often, instead of drum skins, if there's someone I have any distaste, there'll be their face sitting there. It gets all that out.
I still wouldn't mind trying that square one that Stevie uses on stage.
All right.
Too. What, this one you want?
Yep.
All right. What I'm doing in the studio takes up so much of my energy, really. You know, more so that's probably the main thing that I contribute to the band, is not as a guitar player or even necessarily as a writer, but as someone who can take X amount of energy, you know, and flowing through different people and sort of somehow formulate to some degree how things should sound in the studio. Don't know why I have to go. Don't know why I can't stay. Guess I need to be alone. And I guess I need to be amazed. As far as the experience of the studio goes, it's very subjective. It's different for everyone. John, you know, he does his bass parts and spends a lot of time waiting. That's not a lot of fun because I've done that. And that's not fun. John is really very creative and very sensitive to the nuances of the songs when it comes time for him to work on them. And the time that we do spend working together is really very enjoyable for me.
For me and for John, we're a couple of old gigsters, really. I'm really happy being on the road. That is the final thing.
Loving you isn't the right thing to do. And I never take things that I feel. If I could, maybe I'd give you my world. How can I, when you won't take it from me? Could you go your own way?
I love being on the road, but I also like to be in the studio because you need a balance. You need to go from the live performing art of it back to the studio to work on it, and that makes it really exciting to do both because you're constantly changing.
This is exciting, I know. Well, they send me out to do these jobs because I'm the one that convinced them to get a bun coffee maker. Here we are. Coffee's made.
You gotta see, we lose track of time in here. I mean,
They can probably understand.
I just called my
after
mother
being-
last night for the first time since Christmas. And
You thought it'd been a
I
month.
thought it'd been about a month, right? I mean, not literally a month.
You do lose complete track of time because your days and your nights aren't set up right.
Yeah. Why don't you ask? It's gonna stay. Why don't you ask if it's gone away? Hey, hey, hey. Why don't you tell me what's going on? Why don't you tell me who's on the phone? Oh, oh. Why don't you tell me what's going on?
What? Describe being rich and famous in California. This is
sometimes the most beautiful thing, the most innocent thing, and many of those dreams pass us by, keep passing me by.
To write a rock and roll song, and so it started out being much sillier than it came out. It didn't end up being silly at all. It ended up being very serious, actually. But when I started it, I thought this is gonna, for me, since I write so many like intense, serious, dark songs, that I wanted to write something that was up. And it starts out that way, and it is up, but there's a definite eeriness that goes through that song, too, that I didn't even realize was there until just the other night when you were filming that.
But you'll never catch me, yeah.
Stevie, that was great. I told you to take one take.
On the You Feel Good, what I was doing was realizing that Lindsay would be singing a perfect two-part harmony. Mm-hmm. I did not branch out at all. And on the So I Close My Eyes, and on the, I was Till I Become That, I couldn't do any of that. Till I become that part of the wind that we all long for sometime.
Sing the melody for a second. I just want to see if it sounds any good at all to, okay. If we left your melody on there and I just sang like the lower part or something.
Okay.
I don't think it will. So,
you feel good. Said it's funny that you understood.
No, you're going, it's funny that you
understood.
That's the way we were just doing it. I like it.
You feel good. It's funny that you understood. I knew you would when you were good. You were very, very
Angel is a song that I love doing on stage because it makes me feel like an old-time dance hall girl.
I love it. I love it.
Sometimes the most beautiful thing, the most innocent thing, and many of those dreams pass us by.
do something else besides just rock and roll. Rock and roll is wonderful, and I love it, but it's not everything, and it's important for me to do other things. It always has been, though. I can't live on just one. I'm a Gemini. Ballet is so physically difficult that it takes, if you have any problems or if you're worried about anything, and you come down and do this for 15, 20 minutes even, you know, if you don't even get to class, you can't think about anything else but this.
See, I went to art college when I was 16. You know, I met a bunch of guys and we formed a band, and for some obscure reason I was playing bass. We used to just play one night a week at some youth club or other, and we used to pick up £3 each, which sort of saw us through our beer money, you know, during the week. And when I left college, I ended up being a window dresser in a very high-class store, of course. I had a phone call from these guys that I'd met at college. They said that they were looking for a keyboard player. Anyway, I ended up joining a band called Chicken Shack, and we used to sort of bop up and down the freeways in England, and, you know, I paid my dues. Oi, oi.
That's what I like about it. There's such a
Willie! It's out of sight.
Look at that sun. It's the most peaceful thing you could possibly imagine. The structure of the band is 5 people, 5 very independent, quite strong-minded, quite stubborn individuals, actually, you know, and somehow it seems to gel, and we can always seem to arrive at a basic musical agreement, you know. I just respect all the musicians in the band. I mean, if something that they want, if Lindsay decides he doesn't want to do something a certain way, and it's on one of my songs, for example, then I'll respect his opinion, even if he's wrong. My best songs I write in half an hour. Like, You Never Make Me Cry. I wrote that in half an hour. The ones that I labour over, I tend to kind of just give up, you know, forget about for a few weeks and go back to, and if it works out instantly, then it's a viable product.
Go and do what you want. I know that you have me, but you know that I'll wait as long as it takes. You'll never make me, you'll never make me, you'll never make me cry. Now I may not mean it.
You never know when you tour, when you do a big tour to promote an album. There's no way that you can ever really know whether or not that will be the last tour or not. So you have to always gather this special tour, which will be these new songs, these 18 new songs from everyone. You have to gather this very closely now because it might not ever happen again. And if it doesn't, then this must be the best that we can make it.
This is the first song off of our album, Tusk, that we're going to be doing tonight, and it goes something like this. Please
is we've been filmed the last 2 nights in St. Louis, and we want to thank you for participating with us and also the film crew. And I want to sing a song off the Rumors album called Songbird.